really. I remember when the Black Lives Matter at School Steering Committee in New York City read How We Get Free by the Combahee River Collective. And right, so we're not free until we're all free. And when we center the most vulnerable, that helps everybody. Dignity is not a cup of sugar where we run out. Like this idea that if we are affirming Black lives, if we are affirming Black, queer, and trans and disabled lives, that we're unaffirming anyone else, that's not true. And children know that. Children understand that when we are helping the most vulnerable, everybody gets helped. And that is one reason why I think it's so important to do this work with young children who have yet to fully internalize all of.
That's how they're framing collective care to young kids. Collective care is going to be what leads into universal health care, by the way. It's also what's going to lead into the abolition of parental rights. That's how they're teaching collective care to kids. It's just about like, we need to protect everyone and make sure everyone has what they need. Don't you want everyone to have what they need? Don't you want everyone to be cared for? Because when everyone is cared for, that means you're cared for too. That's how they're going to argue for universal health care.
Of the stories and systems of capitalism and patriarchy
Bing!
and white supremacy and all
God
of the systems
damn
of oppression that we have internalized and that we need to unlearn. And when you say to kids,
hang on, capitalism, white supremacy, patriarchy, 3 words that all mean the same thing.
Black, queer, and trans and disabled lives, that we're unaffirming anyone else, that's not true. And children know that. Children understand that when we are helping the most vulnerable, everybody gets helped. And that is one reason why I think it's so important to do this work with young children who have yet to fully internalize all of the stories and systems of capitalism and patriarchy and white supremacy and all of the systems of oppression that we have internalized and that we need to unlearn. And
all of the systems of oppression that we have internalized and we need to unlearn. As a reminder for anyone that is confused about this, when socialists say capitalism, they mean private property ownership. Socialists believe that capitalism created white supremacy and racism. That's why they call it systemic racism or institutional racism. Capitalism is the system that upholds racism. Capitalism is the institution that upholds racism. Every single time they are referring to white supremacy, whiteness, racism, they are always referring to systemic racism, which is the institution, the system of capitalism upholding racism. That's what that means. They also believe that capitalism created the patriarchy because they believe that capitalism created the gender binary by putting women in the home doing the unpaid labor of raising the future generation of proletariat workers, and that put men in the workplace where they had all the power and all the money. That is what the patriarchy is, and it was created by capitalism. Let me know if anyone is confused about any of that.
When you say to kids, we want to make sure everyone gets what they need, no one says, well, I'm not going to get what I need. That's not how young children respond.
That's how they're teaching equity.
And children understand that when things are unfair, they're unfair for everyone.
This is how they're teaching
and
equity.
On some level, that is what Black Lives Matter at School is about. Like the affirmative.
These people believe that capitalism is fundamentally unfair. Capitalism, defined as private property ownership, is fundamentally unfair because it means people have different access to different resources. So when they say, well, we just need a system where everyone gets what they need, that means abolishing capitalism and ushering in equity. Equity and capitalism cannot exist in the same place at the same time.
Principles. It's not about we don't want, it's about we want. And I think that is so powerful always to emphasize, is that each principle is clear about what we want.